This has been the longest 2 weeks of my life. So obviously, I'm very excited for the FSD beta to be rolled out to more vehicles, but I think because of all of the empty promises with the timeline, my brain has just kind of gotten comfortable with the idea of it never happening, because it's like, of course, next week we'll get another tweet that pushes back the release another couple weeks, and then next year we'll get another tweet that pushes back the release the next couple of weeks. But to a certain extent, I really don't believe Elon Musk is generally lying. I think he's just overestimating the software development department and assuming that they're a lot closer to things than they really are, and he's probably just overly optimistic, but that's not the worst thing, I guess, you could be on the planet, because in order to achieve the miraculous things that Elon Musk does, you kind of have to have an optimistic viewpoint that says, yeah, we can do that, yeah, that's probably doable within a reasonable amount of time, because if you were the pessimistic person like many of us that were looking at incredibly difficult problems like rapidly reusable rockets or level 5 autonomy, you would be thinking, no way, there's so many edge cases, that's so complicated, there's so many different variables to account for, that's basically gonna be impossible. If you're pessimistic like that, you probably wouldn't even attempt to make an autonomous driving system. So you kind of need Elon's optimistic viewpoint in order to achieve these things, but simultaneously, yeah, it results in there being a lot of dead timelines and a whole lot of disappointment on our end. But as much as I've critiqued Elon for acting like things are right around the corner or saying the beta release is 2 weeks away and it's really months away, I want to give Elon a little bit of credit because today he decided to respond to a tweet saying that in version 11, or once the FSD beta is given a wide release, it will also come with a new user interface, pretty similar to the one that was actually launched with the updated Model S that we now have plaid and long-range deliveries of. And I'm very curious what this new user interface is going to look like, especially his reference to the car's mind of view, because I'm very interested if that's different at all from the FSD beta release, which of course has lots of different colors and boxes, and I think it's fair to say it doesn't quite look finalized. It doesn't look like the type of code that Tesla would want everybody using, because it's just mainly for making the software better. It's not necessarily for just blending into the background. But we did get some videos a few months back that a retired Tesla employee posted that showed a whole lot more data than what current Tesla vehicles are showing for visualizations, and Elon's saying that basically any vehicle that has the FSD chip is going to be able to display this updated view, which I'm guessing is going to show a lot of lane markings and crosswalks and people, and basically using Tesla Vision it will be able to emulate your environment really accurately and from pretty far away right on the display in front of you, so you'll have a good idea of how well the car is able to see everything that it's supposed to be avoiding and the lanes it's supposed to be keeping inside of. But when it comes to new user interface, I think Elon even made some original tweets back when the holiday update came out and the driver visualizations took up a much larger portion of the display that a lot of people were not a fan of. Personally, having driven a Tesla with the updated user interface, I don't think it's that big a problem, but I do agree that it would be lovely if you could adjust how much space the display dedicates to your GPS navigation or your driver visualizations when you're using the beta on city streets, going through roundabouts and stoplights and turns and that kind of thing. The visualization would take up a very large portion of the display, almost like 2/3, simply because there was so much data to actually demonstrate around the vehicle, and you wouldn't have much left over for maps, but I think that would be amazing if it was adjustable. Kind of how I felt like V11 for the refreshed Model S lets you drag windows around and you can put music to the side and have windows minimize and come back up. I don't think necessarily Tesla will be able to exactly replicate that for the Model 3 and Y, just because they don't have a driver display and they have a 15-inch screen, not a 17-inch screen, so trying to perfectly emulate what the refreshed S has on the 3 and Y is probably not going to be feasible. But it felt very iPad-like when they finally showed it on stage and showed how you'd be able to rearrange the windows and applications and stuff, and I think to make it more iPad-like, they should let you resize how much of the screen you want to be driver visualizations powered by the FSD chip and how much of the screen you want to be the maps, so you can see exactly where you need to turn, what lanes you need to get in, because those are obviously very important too. It would be great if it was resizable, because if someone wanted to split it down the middle and see how much the car could actually see around it, because I find that personally very interesting, especially in circumstances where your GPS navigations aren't that really useful. If you're driving to a place you haven't been to before and you're not really sure where to turn, then yeah, being able to minimize the visualization so that they only take up 25 75% of the display, just enough to show your speed and a few things around the car, but just let the rest of that screen be your navigation. But of course, that's not a lot of driving for people. A lot of driving is simply going to work and back, which tons of people just kind of have that down in their brains. They don't need turn-by-turn directions for that. Or it's driving to a friend's house or driving to the grocery store, and a lot of people will just have a general idea of where they need to go, so dedicating 75% of the display to maps is kind of pointless for day-to-day driving. So being able to adjust that would be huge in my opinion. I hope that's what this update ends up being. And of course, there was supposed to be a pretty major holiday update that a lot of people felt like they didn't quite get. So if there is a new UI coming along with the FSD beta, even for people who don't buy full self-driving, they should even be excited because it sounds like this new user interface and the visualizations you'll be able to see are going to be pretty groundbreaking. And I'm thankful that Elon did not attach a 2-week window on this tweet. He just said, yes, coming soon, this is what it's going to do. And I hope Elon can embrace the meme a little bit more and just realize that, yeah, maybe don't exactly tell people when to expect these releases. Just say, you know, this is what we're working on. It'll come out when it's ready and when it's safe and when it's tested and proven. What do you guys think? Would you rather have the timelines Elon drops through the replies, or do you think more tweets like these are the way he should go moving forward? Feel free to let me know. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.